Hi there, welcome to Wine Searcher. Today's tasting is going to be a fiasco. Why is it going to be a fiasco? Because the bottle I have is a shaped bottle called a fiasco, which is the traditional Chianti bottle shape with this wrapping here of what people call it straw. Actually, technically it's swamp weed. The producer here, Sensi, the brand Dalcampo. It's a basic Chianti, so it's not a Reserva or a Classico. It's just that standard level of Chianti. This bottle, really quite historic. They reckon that this goes back to about 1300. There's a mention evidently in literature in a book called the Decameron by Boccaccio, and that's about 1350. So, the real traditional bottle shape for this. And in fact, in a more recent law, you can only put DOC wine into this shape of bottle, so it's just reserved for Chianti wines. The producers are about 120, is a business that's been in business for about 120 years. They're a family-owned winery. They make wines from all over Tuscany. Essentially, though, you'll tend to find that the Chianti Classico Reserva, the best wines from this region, go into Bordeaux shaped bottles, because then you can age them laying on their sides so the cork stays damp. And so this has almost become a novelty form of packaging. I mean, the other thing to notice, it's got obviously quite a simple wine. The cork there is a very basic plastic cork. The notes on this say it was aged and fermented entirely in stainless steel, so it should be quite a simple wine. The blend, predominantly Sangiovese, as you'd expect in Chianti, 80% of that, and another grape variety called Caniolo, which sort of softens out and rounds out the Sangiovese. Looking at the wine there, the colour is actually fairly pale. You might not see that particularly well because it's not that bright here, but you can see through it fairly easily. It's a ruby red. Give it a smell. Again, quite simple aromas. There's none of the oak notes in there, so you've got quite a clear, lifted cherry note, but a bitter cherry. A little bit of licorice ripeness in there. Not any great power. You have to look for it a bit there for the fruit aromas, but they're pleasant, and they're certainly present there. Tasting the wine, you've got reasonable acidity, but it's not mouth-tinglingly acidic. There's some structure. There's a little bit of bitter tannin in there, but they're quite short tannins. The finish, fairly short. The alcohol is only supposed to be 12.5%, and it seems relatively warming and rounding. So, this is an easy drinking wine. Would fit very nicely with a spaghetti bolognese, a pizza, that sort of what I would think of as a very standard Italian type cuisine. Enjoyable to drink, and probably the most exceptional thing about the wine is actually the bottle that it's in, this sort of very traditional Chianti bottle. That's my fiasco. Have a good day. Bye now.